ठीक है, यहाँ पे आ जाना, ठीक, ओके, ओके। Welcome to this session. Gate 26 registrations have started and there is a big confusion. सेकेंड पेपर के लिए कौन से पेपर को चूज किया जाए और सेकेंड पेपर का यूज कहां हो सकता है. In fact, even before I get into the details, I want to make one statement, and that statement is that the second paper code is not likely to give you almost any opportunity for placement, but definitely the second paper will help you in pitching yourself for a more rewarding M.Tech program, whether it is NITs or IITs. You are aware that 23 IITs and IISc, all of them are routing their admission process based on GATE 2026 scores. It is not just GATE 2026 scores, but also the GATE score of 2024 and 2025 is usable for seeking admission for M.Tech courses which begin in second half of 2026. But yes, the objective of appearing for GATE is always twofold. First objective, आप M.Tech में admissions लेने के लिए यूज करते हैं, और second objective, which is probably more important for majority of you, is for getting shortlisted for the selection process in one of the leading PSUs. Over the last few years, we have seen changes. Like for example, ONGC used to recruit through GATE. In fact, they recruited through GATE for a 10-year window. There was a paper leakage of ONGC exam in the year 2014. And after that, they have been recruiting based on GATE score. But then starting from 2025, they have switched back to their old practice. ONGC अब अपना exam conduct करता है. ONGC is conducting their own CBT based on which they are shortlisting and conducting the rest of the admission process. All right. Likewise, some other PSUs also have made a change in their selection process. But remember one thing, GATE is not to be used only for shortlisting for PSUs. GATE as an exam, when you are preparing, you are also preparing yourself for facing the CBTs which are being conducted by different PSUs. For example, HPCL is conducting its own CBT, right? Likewise, BL has always been conducting its own CBT. BHEL also is conducting its own CBT. The point is, when you are preparing for GATE, you are also preparing to excel in any of these computer-based tests which are being conducted by different PSUs. The list is long, but obviously we are not getting into the details in this particular session. The objective of this session is primarily to look at what are the possible second paper options for different first paper. Always remember, in case of PSUs, they are not using the second paper combination. As we will take a look, right, before getting into the combinations, a very quick look at the important timelines. The opening date for registration for GATE 2026 was changed to August 28th, 2025 and the September 28th, right? Of course, in case you have not been able to register before 28th of September, in that case, you can still register by paying the late fee, and that date is October 9th, 2025, right? They are giving you the opportunity of changing your category or paper or city or personal details and or. It is not just or, but it is and or till November 6th, 2025. You can also add another paper in case you have added only one paper earlier, right? But obviously all these changes will be at a price. There are charges that have been mentioned in the information brochure. The admit cards, as per the present status, are like going to be issued on or after January 2nd, 2025. The exam dates as it stands today is February 7th and 8th and 14th and 15th, 2026. It's not 2025, but it's 2026. I'm sorry for the error. I need to make that correction, right? And the declaration of the result will be March 19th, 2026, right? Let me just make that correction. Right. Here it is 2026. Here also it is 2026. And here also it is 2026. Right. Let's move on. This was just to give you an idea about the dates which are applicable. Right. Moving forward, this is the list. This is a option which, this is the detail which will give you the second paper combination that is possible to be selected by you. In case your main paper is CS or computer science, you can choose any of the 6 options that have been listed. You can choose DA, that is data science and artificial intelligence. You can choose geomatics engineering. Normally civil engineering students are opting for this. You can choose physics, obviously not applicable to any of the engineering students. Then EC, that is electronics and communication. MA, which is mathematics. ST, which is statistics. These are the second paper combinations which can be chosen in case your first paper is CS, right? But in our case, in case of most of the students here, you are going to be opting for, let's say, DA as the second paper combination, right? Likewise, when your main paper is EC, electronics and communication, तो सेकेंड ऑप्शन के लिए, सेकेंड पेपर चूज करने के लिए आपके पास 5 ऑप्शंस हैं. जनरली वी आर नॉट ऑप्टिंग फॉर फिजिक्स, राइट? बट yes, here it is EE. Okay, let me just you can choose CS, you can choose DA. The reason why they are giving you these options are because the date and timing of these exams do not clash with your main paper code. For electrical engineering students, again, DA is possible to be chosen, physics is possible to be chosen, EC and IN are possible to be chosen. But you do not get any advantage of choosing the second paper code for PSU placements. That is something which you have to bear in mind. All right. If your paper code is instrumentation, the main paper is instrumentation, you can choose EC, you can choose EE, you can choose biomedical engineering, and you can also choose mechanical engineering. But rarely with IN, students are opting for BM or ME unless you have specifically gone in for your graduation in biomedical or biotech engineering, right? Most of the time it is EC or EE which is chosen by instrumentation students. In case of electrical engineering, again, most of the time it is IN which is chosen. Similarly, for EC, the second option which is chosen by majority of the students is IN and not any other paper code, right? But as I have been repeatedly saying, we do not go for any options for placement in PSU perspective. some more options for the other streams. Like for civil engineering, the alternate paper options are ES, XE and GE. ES being environmental science and engineering, XE is the engineering sciences, and G being the geomatics engineering. But again, majority of the time what has been noticed is that ES is the option which is taken as the second paper combination by CE students. In case your main paper combination is ES, then again the options that you can choose for second paper are CE, GE or CH, chemical engineering. The exception for recruitment, having paper code ES are for some limited number of openings. There could be openings in, if I remember correctly, in ONGC, where ES is the gate code which is possible to be opted for placement opportunities, for career opportunities, right? Likewise, it is possible for ES specialization, ES gate code, to get shortlisted for the interview process in some of the other state pollution boards whichever are recruiting through the gate score, right? So this has limited application for employment also. But based on XE, based on GE, based on IN, for an electrical engineer or for an electronics engineer, PSUs do not do any shortlisting. I'll give a quick word about that also. थोड़ा सा आपको clarification उसके बारे में भी दे देंगे, डिटेल में नहीं करेंगे इसके बारे में बात. Mechanical engineering, if ME is the first paper code, then the second paper code can be PI, it can be XE, and it can be aeronautical engineering besides DA, IN, MM. But again, it will depend on your state of readiness and your state of mind for preparation for the second paper, right? Once again, in case of ME, the preferred options are either PI or XE. It is rarely seen that the students are opting for AE, DA, IN, MM or NM, HM or NM or any other options, right? And finally, PI, that is production and industrial engineering, being the paper code 1, the second paper code that can be chosen is ME or XE. Again, एक ही पर्पस है in two paper combinations के बारे में बताने का, that their date of exam and the time slot for the exam do not clash with each other. That's the only reason why these paper combinations have been recommended by the GATE authorities, right? All these details have been mentioned clearly in the information brochure that has been issued by the GATE Institute, which this year is IIT Guwahati, right? I'll also give you some idea about which are the courses available based on the gate code DA in the different NITs. I'll just try to show you that, and I'll also tell you the source where you can also check it out yourself, right? On the CCMT website, there is a particular option which is given where you can see the gate code combinations and the course combinations which are possible to be selected by you. I'll show you by way of the chart which I have made in the Excel sheet, right? All right, let's move on. Some very important guidelines. You must carefully remember these things because it can lead to saving some money or spending some extra money. First and foremost, when the GATE result is announced, save the PDF, save the soft copy on your laptop and mail it to yourself so that even if the laptop crashes, you are able to access it from your mailbox. And make sure that you are having two distinct email IDs, preferably using different platforms. One could be a Gmail ID, the other one could be Outlook or Yahoo or whatever you are comfortable with. But try keeping two distinct emails, and every document that you are having, you must mail it to yourself to both these email IDs. It can save you a lot of hassles. It can save you a lot of hassles. Every time there is a interview process which gets started for a PSU, a number of students keep writing to me saying, sir, I'm not able to locate my biodata form which I had submitted at the time of applying for such and such PSU. अब मैं क्या करूं? अब तो कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते. The एक ही possibility उस situation में बचती है that you try to recreate the biodata form from memory, और वो भी तब possible है अगर आपके पास उसका blank format होगा तो. I try to help out by sending them the blank format or by erasing the content of some other student's biodata form who has shared it with me. But then end of the day, it is a problem. It is a problem, right? The GATE scorecard is possible to be downloaded up to 31st of May 2026 free of charge. But from after 31st of May till December 26, you are able to get the GATE scorecard by paying a fee of 500 rupees, 500 rupees per paper scorecard, but that is also possible only till December 31st, 2026. After that, it will not be possible for you to get the scorecard. From January 1st, 2027, the scorecards will not be issued for GATE 26 qualified students, right? And obviously, you already know that the GATE scorecard is valid for a period of 3 years, right? It's valid for a period of 3 years. That means it is valid for the admission process of 2026, 2027 and 2028, right? This is like some of the things which you are already aware of. I'm not telling you something new. It is just a reiteration of an important aspect. Two more important slides. Please do make a note of it. All this information is available. All the information is available in the brochure. Right? The authorities who are empowered to issue the category certificate for SC/ST category, they have been listed: the district magistrate, additional district magistrate, collector, deputy collector, etc. Chief presidency magistrate, additional chief presidency magistrate, presidency magistrate. I think it's in case of Tamil Nadu students. Then revenue officer not below the rank of Tehsildar. This is important. This is important. Then SDO of the area where the candidate and his or her parents normally reside, right? Likewise, administrator or secretary to the administrator, development officer in case of Lakshadweep Island. These are the list of authorities who are authorized to issue the SC/ST category certificate. It's a similar thing for the OBC category students also, right? Then there is another certificate which is required in case of the students or candidates who are suffering from dyslexia. Again, the list of empowered authorities has been given. All this information is available in the GATE information brochure. I have chosen to put it for your consideration in case you need it. Don't wait for the last day to apply and get your category certificate, right? This is again a slide for the consideration of students who are considering DA as the second paper, right? Just the highlight of the sections which are there in case of DA paper. You have probability and statistics, linear algebra, calculus and optimization, programming, data structures and algorithms, database management and warehousing, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, if you look at it, these 4 sections are the ones which will be required to be prepared in case you are not from CSIT stream, right? These sections more or less you study as a part of your engineering itself, which is part of engineering mathematics. You have till I think 3 semesters. You have 3 semesters of engineering mathematics, which covers most of these areas. But then, in case you are not from CSIT stream, then in that case you will have to put in extra efforts for preparing for the last 4 subsections of the paper, right? We'll also take a look at the distribution of marks. Again, that can be handy for you. Right. There are 2 specific papers which require attention of the students of Made Easy and the students who are from the core streams like computer science, civil engineering, electrical, mechanical, civil, instrumentation and P&I, right? The first is this paper code XE, engineering science, which is normally the paper code which is chosen by the mechanical engineering and P&I students as their second paper code, right? Here, besides the aptitude part, which is common to all the papers, which carries 15 marks, you have section A, which contains 11 questions, and it carries a weightage of 15 marks. Right. It carries a weightage of 15 marks. And there are 11 questions. The distribution of 11 questions is 7 questions of 1 mark each and 4 questions of 2 marks each, right? Then you have to choose any 2 of the remaining options which are available, which are coded from B to I, which means 2 to 9. That means there are 8 options which are available, and you have to make a choice of any 2 of these sections. You can choose fluid mechanics, material science, solid mechanics, thermodynamics, polymer science and engineering, food technology, oceanic science, energy science, etc. Any 2 sections have to be chosen. Each of these 2 sections carries 35 marks, which means a total of 70 marks. That means to say we have 15 for APTI, 15 for engineering mathematics, and 70 for 2 subsections, right? You can choose fluid mechanics, material science, solid mechanics, thermodynamics. Generally, these are the 4 subsections from which the mechanical engineering and P&I students are choosing to attempt the XE paper. Each section carries 35 marks and there are 22 questions. What is the distribution of marks of 22 questions? 22 questions हैं इस each subsection में 35 marks का एक section है, तो 9 questions तो हैं 1 mark के और 13 questions हैं 2 marks के. अब ये जो 2 marks के question हैं, they can be more than one correct answer, they can be numeric answer type, right? So that distribution is available. So total of 35 marks for each of these 2 sections, as I have already stated, 15 for APTI, 15 for engineering mathematics, and 70 marks for the 2 subsections, right? Depending on where you want to make use of it, and as I have stated right in the beginning, सेकेंड पेपर कोड का यूज आप एमटेक में थोड़े से बेटर कोर्स के लिए कर सकते हैं। अगर आपका स्कोर XE में बहुत हाई है और ME में लो है तो आप XE कोड को यूज करके एडमिशन के लिए अप्लाई करिए। You will get an advantage. You will get an advantage, right? As you will see when the admission process starts, which will start in the first week of March 2026. In fact, there are two institutes which announce the admission process even before the declaration of the GATE result. One of them is Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and second generally is IIT Delhi. These are the two institutes which are starting the admission process even before the declaration of the GATE result. Of course, the last date is only after the GATE result is declared. Like for example, in case of ISC in 2025, the last date was almost extended till 28th or 27th of March. You have sufficient time after the declaration of the GATE result also, right? So this is for the subsection in the distribution of marks for the paper code XE, right? एक बार और देख लेते हैं, कुछ और पोर्शन कवर करने की जरूरत है। Okay. See, this was mostly the points which I wanted to cover by way of the contents of paper code 2, the combinations which are possible. But clearly, once again, I want to reiterate that the second paper code is usable only for enhancing your opportunity, enhancing your chances of getting to a better course in a higher ranked IIT. That is the biggest use of the second paper code. Only for ES and PI. PI is another paper code for which there is a limited application, but then BHEL, which accepts the students of production and industrial engineering, B.Tech in P&I, does not recruit based on GATE score. Likewise, BDL also does not recruit through GATE score. They accept the students with P&I as their branch of engineering in B.Tech. Other PSUs do not accept PI. Like for example, IOCL, HPCL, BPCL, the oil marketing companies, they do not accept P&I as a branch. Likewise, ES as the paper code, as the second paper code, is acceptable for recruitment in the specialist branch, which is environmental science, right? So choose your second paper code carefully. The biggest use, I keep repeatedly saying, is primarily for enhancing the chances in getting admission for M.Tech courses, right? Okay, I think with this I'll close this PPT, and then I'll just try to see if I can share the, I can show you the Excel sheet where we can take a look at the options. Yes, here it is. See, what I had done was I have tried to plot all these contents. I have tried to plot all these contents in an Excel sheet. Let me see if I can locate that specific spot. Yes, I think this is it. This is the one which I have shortlisted and wanted to display. See, this is for the students who are wanting to go for courses in data analysis and artificial intelligence related courses. If you notice the description of the PG program, you will find a mention of either machine learning, or as we move along, you will find, like here we have data analytics. This is data analytics and industrial engineering and data analytics is at NIT Jalandhar. Let me move forward further. This was for the machine learning. This is again, this is at NIT Warangal. This is a specific course in the specific PG course. for which DA as the gate code is acceptable. DA as a gate code is acceptable. Likewise, EC as a gate code is also acceptable for this particular course, right? Let me take some other. Data science. Here, this is the course in NIT Surat, which is in Gujarat. For the data science, M.Tech in data science, which is being conducted by NIT Surat, we can have either gate code DA or CS. The degree, the qualifying degree can be any of these. The qualifying degree can be B.Tech in EC, B.Tech in industrial engineering, B.Tech in industrial IoT. See, the description of the qualifying degree is also given in the CCMT website. Remember, this data is picked up from the CCMT website. I'll see if I can show you the exact content of the CCMT website also. I'll probably go to that, right? Then moving, let's take a look at some other options. This is all NIT Surat. See, I had done a shortlisting of data from the top 10 NITs. Rather than cover all the NITs, I just picked up the data from the top 10 NITs, right? Just to give you an idea, there are a lot of courses which are open to students of different streams. You will notice that even students of chemical engineering can apply for courses in DA with gate code DA. NIT Jalandhar has a course in data analytics. NIT Allahabad has a course in CSE in artificial intelligence and data science, right? See, all these details, I keep repeatedly saying they are available on the CCMT website, and obviously when the gate result is announced, we'll once again be conducting sessions specifically for CCMT, so that it can help you in prioritizing your preferences, right? Choosing the right course code and course combination in the right sequence, right? Moving on, Allahabad is covered. Then we have okay, this list is very big, so I'll not go into that. Let me just check at some of the questions which have been given, which have come in the chat box. Let me take one by one. Undertaker has given sent a question, what for CS and IT? Yes, I have already displayed it. You can choose DA as the second paper code, or you have the option of choosing other also, right? First examination city can be chosen as Delhi. Yes, there is no problem at all. XE is valid for majority of the M.Tech colleges. Majority I am using. I am not giving specifically details of the colleges, but majority of the colleges are accepting XE code. NITs are also accepting, but you will have to take a look at the specific course for which XE is acceptable by referring to the CCMT website. ONGC का कोई ऑप्शन है क्या PI से? नहीं, ONGC के लिए बेटा PI से कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. They are not accepting, and anyway gate is not being used for the selection, for the criteria for shortlisting students. Gate is not being used, right? Okay, I think these were the only questions which were there. In case you have any more questions, in case any questions come to your mind after when you are watching it in an offline mode, you can post it in the chat box and I'll try to revert to you without any difficulty, right? I'll keep replying back for the next few days, or at least till the gate registration is open. All right, I think that is what I wanted to cover by way of the options for the second paper code. But once again, the summary is the second paper code is primarily to enhance your opportunities for M.Tech admissions and not with the objective of getting a job. Please remember that. There are only two exceptions to this rule. The first exception is the paper code can be ES, which is having very limited opportunities. ONGC is one such opportunity which I remember clearly. PI as a gate code was acceptable some time back, but then BHEL is only accepting graduates in production and industrial engineering, but not, they are conducting their own CBT. A lot of PSUs are conducting their own CBT. In fact, I am reminded of the days of the year when I had completed my graduation. Every Sunday used to be one exam or the other. BIS, that is Bureau of Indian Standards, is another government organization which is still continuing to recruit based on GATE scorecard. DRDO is an organization which is doing the first round of shortlisting based on the GATE scorecard, but then they conduct the second round exam, which is more like a conventional paper for the shortlisted candidates based on the GATE scorecard, right? And yes, I guess that's about it. ISRO this year has done two sets of recruitments. The first set of recruitments, which are like the fast track recruitments as they call it, for that they have shortlisted the students based on the GATE scorecard. The second set of recruitments, which is a bigger number of candidates, that set of candidates have to appear for a computer based test. I think the date of that computer based test, which is being conducted by ISRO for civil, electrical, mechanical, electronics, etc., is on 14th of September. That's the tentative date as has been posted on the website of ISRO, right? But remember, the level of paper of ISRO is almost similar to that of GATE. And likewise, BARC, which is another research organization which is recruiting based on GATE score, and the alternative is they conduct their own computer based test also, CBT also. In case you didn't perform well in GATE and your score falls below your expectations, you have an opportunity of appearing for CBT also. They are recruiting based on CBT as well as based on GATE. And contrary to the thought process which is in the mind of a number of students कि कुछ एलोकेशन करते हैं कि भाई इतने कैंडिडेट्स को गेट के स्कोर पे शॉर्टलिस्ट करेंगे और इतने कैंडिडेट्स को सीबीटी के बेस पे शॉर्टलिस्ट करेंगे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. They are looking at the top performers and that is how they are doing the shortlisting. You can appear for both, there is no problem at all. You can get shortlisted based on both, but obviously you will appear for only one interview. It is not that you will have an interview based on your GATE score as well as based on the CBT score. No, it is only one interview that you will be appearing for, and that's about it. Let me see if I can, I think I'll close this. I'll just go to the CCMT website. So that I can actually show you where I got this information from. The Excel sheet which I was showing you, let me just show you from where I have got this information. Yes, it is this. View mapping of institute, department, PG program, etc., etc. Let it just upload. Right, it has opened. See, if I select a specific institute, you can either select a specific institute or you can select all. If I'm selecting, let's say, NIT Calicut, and then I have the option of selecting the department, maybe computer science. the PG codes. Here, whatever are the programs, they are offering only these two courses. The group name, I'm selecting only one group. I'm selecting, let's say, all. These are the courses which are available for the NIT Calicut with gate code, which are under the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The gate paper code is mentioned here. It is CS for all. No other option is acceptable to them. Only CS is the paper code. But of course, there can be qualifications can be different. Qualifications can be different. You could have done your B.Tech in different disciplines. That is the only leeway which is available to you. This is one particular link that you have to go through, and then let's see if there is any other link that will be useful for you. Take a look at the special eligibility restrictions. These are again some of the instructions, some of the restrictions which you have to keep in mind, right? This is at the time when you are applying. Let me see if there is any more. Right. See, if you want, you can download all the data which is there in the CCMT website for reference when you are applying for M.Tech through CCMT. But then this data is made available otherwise also by us, so you don't have to really spend time on this. Okay. Let me see if there are any more questions. Otherwise, we'll close the session. In third year PSU का option नहीं होगा. If you are a third year student, you cannot apply for any PSU, because PSUs require you to have completed your degree when they are doing the recruiting process. Of course, if the recruiting process, like for example in BARC, the recruitment process starts in the month of, the notification obviously comes early enough. The exam is conducted in the month of April and the interviews are conducted in June. And you have to complete your degree on or before the training program starts by BARC and NPCIL and any other such organization. In fact, BARC and NPCIL are two organizations where the training program starts in the month of August, which means you have to complete your degree. You must have the provisional degree with you before the commencement of the course. At best, they give you some time, I think till the end of September, to submit your degree, failing which your candidature stands cancelled, right? But all these details you need not pay much attention at this point in time, unless you are having backs, because in that case your eligibility comes under cloud. You have difficulty in terms of getting accepted, right? Okay, I think this is what I wanted to cover by way of the content in this session. Thank you very much. We'll close the session at this point. And as I said earlier, you can post your queries after we close this session. When you're watching the session on Made Easy YouTube channel, you can keep posting your queries so that we can reply to you. All right. Thank you very much. And once again, prepare well, and don't forget to save every document, every application that you make in the PDF form, in the soft copy form on your laptop, and mail it to yourself. Best wishes once again, and thanks a lot. There is one question which is posted by Anand Kishore Verma. Let me answer it right now. Can we fill general EWS as this certificate made in 2023. No, 2023 certificate will not be acceptable. So you must have a valid EWS certificate if you are wanting to fill your category as EWS. Otherwise, when you are making an application for M.Tech and or for PSU applications, you will have to fill your category as general category only. The EWS certificate which you must have with you must be issued on or after 1st of April 2025. This is for applying for admission or for applying to PSUs whose advertisement is released before 31st of March 2026. Remember, let me just try to write it down. I'll write it here itself. EWS and NCL certificate, OBC NCL, must be issued on or before 31st of March 2026 for advertisements released which means, in other words, for IISc, IITD and IIT Jodhpur, because these are the ones who are releasing the advertisement early enough. Maybe some other institutes also. The date of your EWS certificate must be on or before 31st of March. A caution, don't wait for the last minute to get your category certificate issued. You will get into a jam. You will get into trouble, right? Likewise, when the next financial year starts, same thing you have to do. Be cautious, be careful, and get the required category certificate issued well in time. All right. There is a YouTube video available in the Made Easy YouTube channel which discusses in detail about the requirement of the various category certificates. You can go through that. The only thing is that the timeline will have to get modified depending on the date of release of the advertisement. All right. Okay. I think with this we are closing. Thank you once again, and keep preparing, work hard. There is one question which has been posted. EWS certificate format that GATE recommends, when we go to form, they don't make it in the same format. The format is very similar to what the GATE has posted on their website. So don't worry. Just compare the content, it will be by and large the same. There will be hardly any difference. They are well aware of the requirements.